So it's officially fall time, and with fall time here, with the change of the seasons, there's different chores that need to be done. And so with the fall creeping in, you got deer season, trapping season, different harvest times are going on. And I wanted to take today like a full day of basically just prepping and getting together all my medicinal plants, get them dried out, make sure they're hanging, process them down a little bit further. So in some of our previous videos, like the sumac aid video, we showed you guys how to make sumac, and we also talked about gathering that sumac and drying it out and further processing it. So on one of our fishing trips, we actually came across some smooth sumac. And keep in mind, there's about 250 different species of sumac. The large majority of those are actually edible. But we gathered that sumac on our fishing trip, and I put it in my drying rack. And so what I ended up with is a big old pot of dried out sumac. So when you grab one of these sumac berries and you rub them in your fingers, you could see the red powder just comes right off of it. And it almost has like a baby powder talky kind of feel, like it leaves your fingers very smooth feeling. And if you taste that powder, it's going to be very sour, kind of like a lemon was. So like in our other video, we talked about some of the reasons you'd want to take the sumac. And so it has the cooling power or properties to it. So if you're overheated, you're dehydrated, you want a nice, cool, refreshing beverage to kind of rejuvenate the body, you're going to want to take that sumac. Another thing it helps doing is as you get dehydrated and your muscles and your bodies begin to ache and your muscles are breaking down and sore, it's going to help those muscles recover faster. And also with this sumac, once we dry it out and we extract the powder off of it, you could use that as a food seasoning. So you could season your fish or your trout with it. You could season chicken with it, things of that kind of nature. So we're going to show you guys how to do that. So we've been drying this out for several weeks, and I got it in this pot here. So now these berries are connected basically to the stems here and to the stalk. And you could go through with your fingers and pick these off. It's kind of time consuming, a little difficult. But if we take our homemade beating stick here, we can kind of roll these around, beat them up, knock all these berries off. So as we're processing this down, we're going to take out all the stems, and there's still berries left on here, but you're not going to get every single one of them. And we could use our fingers here, and we'll kind of filter these stems out. But what you're going to end up left with is all these really, really good sumac berries here. And this is pretty processed pretty well here. There is a little bit of stems in there, but as we put it through our sieve, that's going to pull out the rest of these stems. What I have here is just a stainless steel soup pot, kind of a medium size, and then I have a sieve or a strainer here. And with that being done, I'm going to put my berries in here, and then this is a rock that I just picked up at the creek. It's kind of a little bit of a round configuration, but it's got rough edges to it. We're going to put those berries in there. We're going to grind them in. We got a nice handful inside our sieve. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this rock and just real gently, we're going to roll it around. Work the edges of it, come back to the center. And this is going to take several minutes. So this is kind of one of those projects, maybe like if you had a nice campfire going, a warm cup of hot cocoa, or maybe if you want a glass of tea, you could have some goldenrod tea with fresh honey. But we're just going to work this around. And as we do that, you can see the seeds becoming more and more exposed on these berries. And you look at the bottom of it, it's pushing all that red stuff through, the husk of the seed. And when you look in our pot, we've already been doing this for a little while, so that's just not from now. But you could see all the powder and the husk coming off those seeds. So keep in mind, this is going to be a time-consuming project. And surprisingly enough, as the stone rolls across the wire mesh and rolls the seed around in there, It's actually a little bit soothing. Kind of has a satisfying sound and feel to it. Now you look at our sumac berries, they're nowhere near as bright and as red as you look into our other pot here. You can see how they're very, very vibrant red. So I'm going to call these berries done. But now with a little bit of hope, I'd like these berries to maybe repopulate. So I'm going to go ahead and take them and just throw them onto the hedgerow of our property here. I'll do it right now. Maybe I'll get lucky and some of those might repopulate. But what you're going to end up with is this red powder underneath here. So I have my haversack here. So we got a funnel, got a mason jar, a spoon, nothing too fancy. But we're going to scrape off the bottom of this because we don't want to waste any of it. It's kind of a lot of work gathering it. And we're not done, you know, we still got quite a bit in that pot. And again, I see a lot of people using the sumac and making beverages out of it, but I really don't see anybody showing people how to process these down and store them for long-term use. And that's really what we're looking for. You know, you could go and pick these, you know, midsummer, late summer, but what happens when it's January, February, and they're dried out and they're not any good anymore? So you're going to want to be careful. It'd be better if I had a table to do this on. But we're going to process our powder into our mason jar. And once we're all done with that, and keep in mind this is already nice and dry, but we're going to put one of those dry food saver packs into our mason jar and keep it nice and dry. So anytime you want to make a beverage or something, you get a couple spoonfuls of this or get a pinch of it for some seasoning. And that way you guys have it for a long-term use throughout the year. I still got quite a bit in my pot there. But I just wanted to show you guys, this is the finished product and process of how it looks. So like I said before, this process here of actually grinding off that husk of the berry, it's kind of time consuming. So I'm going to be here for a while. I want to say thank you to you guys for watching us and tagging along and seeing the process of how we use this sumac aid. And if you want to help support our channel, subscribe to it, follow us on Facebook, and hit that drop down box and use our Amazon affiliate link. And we'll catch you guys next time.